Welcome to another episode of Theological Pipe. News, culture, sports, politics, and everything else from a theological perspective.
It's all summed up in love.
What should I do? Tell me. God is good. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give me peace. Give me peace.
Put that in your theological pipe and smoke it.
There's a little boy named Timmy. He's 8 years old. It's getting close to Christmas time, and he realizes he has to compose his Christmas list letter to Santa Claus. So he grabs some paper, he grabs a pen, and he goes and he sits down at the kitchen table in his house, and he starts off his letter. Dear Santa, my name is Timmy. I'm 8 years old, and I've been a good boy. And then Timmy starts to list off the items that he wants for Christmas. He gets to about item 7 or 8, and he kind of stops for a second. And in his mind, he starts remembering Santa Claus is coming to town. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. That song starts to echo in his mind, and he realizes that, man, he sees me when I'm sleeping, and he knows if I'm awake. You know, he knows if I've been bad or good, so I better be good for goodness sake. And I just put a lie down. You know, my first sentence to Santa was a lie. So he crumples up the piece of paper and he tosses it into the trash can. He gets another piece of paper and he says, Dear Santa, my name's Timmy. I'm 8 years old. I've been a good boy for 8 months out of this year. Here's my Christmas list. And he starts to list off the items. This time he maybe gets to item number 5 and his mind starts working and he says, 8 months, that's, yeah, no. And so he crumples up that piece of paper, and he throws it into the trash can. He gets another piece of paper. Dear Santa, my name is Timmy. I'm 8 years old. I've been good for 6 months this year. Here's what I want for Christmas. And he starts to list. And again, he gets to about item 4 this time. And he realizes, that might be saying too much. 6 months. He crumples that piece of paper up and throws it in the trash. He gets another piece of paper and his pen and he starts to write, Dear Santa, 8 years old, Timmy, here's what I want for Christmas. I've been a good boy for 3 months this year. He doesn't even start writing the items down. He starts thinking. He gets that piece of paper, he crumples it up, he throws it in the trash. Now he's writing a little bit more aggressively because he's getting frustrated and he's kind of contemplating Christmas and gifts and presents and how is Santa going to know, and he knows if I've been bad or good. Dear Santa, it's Timmy. I'm 8 years old. I've been a good boy for 2 months. He doesn't even throw it out. He crosses it out. 1 month. I've been good for 1 month. Here's what I want for Christmas. He crumples that piece of paper up and throws it away. He's not even concerned anymore about getting it in the trash can. There's now a bunch of wadded up pieces of paper on the floor, but he doesn't care. He's focused. He goes, Dear Santa, my name's Timmy. I'm 8 years old. You know who I am. I've been good for 2 weeks this year, maybe. Here's what I want for Christmas. He crumples it up, throws it on the ground. He sits there for a few seconds just thinking about what is he going to do. Dear Santa, he starts writing another letter. Dear Santa, my name's Timmy. I'm 8 years old. I've been good for 1 week this year. I've been good for 1 week this year. And he just kind of starts to look around the house. I don't want to say tears are in his eyes because they're not, but he's frustrated. He's a kid. He's 8 years old. He's frustrated. And he starts to look around and he starts to think about the letters that he wrote to Santa. He starts to think about Christmas and what it means, and he sees all the candles and the Christmas lights and the Christmas tree, and he sees all the decorations and the reindeer and Santa. And as he's looking over across, the kitchen and into the living room, he comes to the mantle and he sees the manger scene that his mom had set up. And his eyes just are drawn to it. He's gazing upon it now, fixed upon that scene. And he's looking at it and he can see the angel on top of the manger. And he can see the little baby Jesus in the center with Mary and Joseph standing next to him, the 3 wise men off to the side. You have the shepherds and the animals. And he just stops for a second. He starts to think about what Christmas is all about. So little Timmy gets up and he walks over to the manger scene, and now he's standing right in front of it. And it starts to take on even a deeper meaning to him, a bigger impact on him, and his brain's working. And he looks over the whole scene, and then he kind of just narrows his focus down to the baby Jesus and Mary and Joseph sitting there, standing right above him. And it may have been a couple minutes that he sat there and looked at it without moving, without blinking. And he kind of nodded his head, yes, like he understood. And so he grabbed the figurine of Mary, Jesus's mother. Timmy goes back over to the kitchen table and he gets out another piece of paper and he puts the figurine of Mary just in front, and he kind of stares at it for a minute. And he's got the pen in one hand and he's looking, and he grabs Mary in his other hand, and he grips it really, really tight. And he's holding Mary, kind of almost holding it to his face, his head, his lips, and he's holding it, and you can see he's kind of squeezing. So he takes his pen and he goes, "Dear Jesus, if you ever want to see your mother again."
Well, bye.